Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while since I made a video. I've just been really wrapped up with my Godzilla videos, which are really fun, but it's taking a lot more time than I originally thought. So, in the meantime, I thought I would do a quick DVD Blu-ray update since I've been kind of picking things up here and there for the past couple of months. So, I've got a couple of stacks here, so I don't want to waste too much time setting it up, but let's just get right into it, shall we? So, the first thing that I picked up, I've been eyeing this for a while, so I couldn't resist any longer, but it's Superman, the complete animated series. I found this guy at Walmart for around 20 bucks, which is great because this fluctuates like crazy. I've seen it go for 20, up to 50. Highest I've seen it go is like 80, which is crazy. But it is a complete animated series. I wasn't always the biggest fan of Superman, but I love the Bruce Timm Batman animated series, so it kind of fits in with the lore. One thing I will say, which is weird, is this set looks near identical to its original release. Only difference is the original release had 7 discs, whereas this guy says it only has 6. Now, I didn't even know they re-released it. I thought this was just the exact same set, just for a cheaper price. The main thing that tipped me off to it is the discs themselves are completely new. Whereas before it had like full art colored, this has kind of got like a weird, like, well, I'll insert some images here. You'll see what I mean. The other thing that is really weird is when you put in the discs, the menus, if you would just have showed me this, I would have thought they were bad bootlegs. Like, these are the worst menus I've ever seen. The navigation is great, but the menus, this really does look like somebody made this in their basement. It's not good. It's bad. But the quality of the show is still great. And there's all the features that were there before. So for 20 bucks is not bad. Just, I don't know, especially because there was fully fleshed out menus before. So I don't know why this changed in this release. If that's something that bugs you, maybe look for the 7 discs as opposed to the 6. But, it's just weird. Next up, though, the next thing I got, same vein kind of, is Teen Titans, the complete series. So again, I found this at Walmart for pretty cheap. I don't know if they've just started, restocking and re-releasing these guys, but I found this guy at a very reasonable price. Again, the packaging is very similar to the Superman one, where it's the same type of disc art. And unfortunately, the same type of menus. Very clear navigation, I will give it that, but these menus suck, man. As well as, it kind of bugs me that, same as Superman, there was legit releases of these with good menus. So, I don't know. I don't know why that's like that, but is what it is. At least for this one, it's either you get the complete series or you get them individually. Individually has the nice menus, complete set doesn't, but same features and the same quality, to me anyway. So, if you can get it for cheap, go for it. If this is going for really high prices, I don't know. That's just my thought. Now, again, it's all within the same family. I ended up picking up Justice League, the complete series. Now, this actually has fantastic disc art, fantastic menus, and the packaging, pretty samey. But this was just to kind of cap off. I actually got the Justice League first. And then I saw Superman there on sale as well. So, again, I love Batman, especially the animated series. So this just kind of is a continuation. Especially I already had all of Batman Beyond as well. Could not resist this. And again, better menus, all the features are there. So I was stoked about this guy, especially because he was on sale as well. So don't know why, but hey, snatched him up. Couldn't resist. Next up is Who is America? So this is the new Sacha Baron Cohen show. So this is similar to, this is the guy who did like Borat. I have his complete original series, the Ali G show. This guy I just found for like 20 bucks and the price was right to me and I was really curious about this. I'd seen a bunch of clips online, knew I would think it was funny. Extremely funny. The only small gripe that I have about this is in the menus, it like blasts the theme music, which at first I thought was going to be like that rap music that played when they first released trailers of the show, but it's not. It's like this weird like tribal chant, which is really loud, and that can kind of get annoying when you're going through. But it's only 2 discs, so hilarious, highly offensive, but I mean, I recommend it for those who don't get offended easily. It's very funny, especially this character in here who's like an ex-con. It's the grossest skits, but it got me. I don't know what to tell you. This next one I actually got for free, surprisingly, which is the Twilight Zone complete series. I don't think I'm going to be able to put it in the little thing here, so I'm going to have to hold it. But this guy, I've been eyeing it for years. I mean, I know that this Blu-ray release is new, but they've had Twilight Zones for a while now. They had like separate releases and all kinds. There was like best ofs and things, and I would always kind of like, oh, I wanted it, but the prices were usually pretty high, and it was kind of hard to tell if it was all the episodes, if it was cut up. It was all over the place. So when they were releasing these again on DVD and Blu-ray, couldn't resist. And like I said, I got this for free. It was through like a rewards program through my bank. So, hey, why not? The casing itself is nothing really special to me. I actually find that the DVD case is a little bit better. They have like the white discs and like the black and white spiral on the outside. Nothing wrong with the Blu-ray cases. I just thought it was a nice touch for the DVDs. The menus as well. The navigation's a little bit funky, but I love the atmosphere that it has. And the show has never looked better. I mean, really, this is excellent. I highly recommend. If you can find this at a very decent price, go for it. On average, though, this is like $100, maybe more. So if you've got it, I recommend it. If you don't, not a big deal. So that, very happy to add it into my collection. And again, next up, I got Night Gallery. So this is Rod Serling after Twilight Zone. He gets another series, which, I mean, by all means, is not as good as Twilight Zone, but I still like it. I mean, you're getting people in here directing like Steven Spielberg. This is kind of some of his first stuff. I mean, like Guillermo del Toro does a few audio commentaries in here, so there's a lot of value. Weird thing I will say, like the packaging's very consistent, which I like. The menus, I can tell that this was like the 3 seasons separated and they just kind of packaged them all together, similar to the Ninja Turtles, because the menus change. So season 1 has like kind of some interesting interactive menus. Then season 2 is just all about the navigation, and season 3 is almost the exact same as season 2. But yeah, a little bit weird, but nothing wrong with that. Awesome series. I won't get into heavy reviews because, like I said, I got a lot of stacks here, but Night Gallery, found it for a very decent price, and why not at that point? Next up, I found this guy unopened. He was brand new, which is The Haunted World of El Superbeasto. I've never actually seen this, but it's an animated movie which was like based on a comic book by Rob Zombie. So the style and like the vibes here, pretty cool. I mean, even the casing here looks like an old book, which I think is awesome. And the menus are really artistic as well. But this is an adult animated film, so like there is a lot of raunchy comedy going on in here, but still looks very fun. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but I was recommended it, and it looks very cool. So I couldn't pass this guy up, and it was unopened for dirt cheap. Why not? So these next 3 I actually got on Facebook Marketplace. So it's actually seasons 2, 4, and 5 of The Simpsons. So for a while, I only had season 3. Then I managed to find season 1 at Value Village. And then these guys I got on Facebook Marketplace. So after a while, I'm finally up from 1 to 7. With season 11 as well, just randomly. As I was mentioning, like season 3 was the one that I had for ages, so the packaging of these guys, very reminiscent of that. They all have the same kind of sun tanner setup, which I'm fine with, but like each disc series kind of has their own little theming, which is cool. Another thing about The Simpsons, which I always like, is that their menus are very interactive, but like each new season, they kind of do something a little bit different with their menus. But it's always like everything is super interactive, and I think that's cool. So yeah, I got these guys. A little bit of a story here. I got these, like I said, Facebook Marketplace. They were listed as brand new, right, unopened. I got them for like $30. But when I first saw this posted, it was like there was 6 seasons in total, and I had most of the other ones at this point. But they were asking like a crazy amount. Like it was like, oh, 6 of these unopened. like $180 or something. And I was like, that's never going to sell. Cool. So I just kind of ignored it for weeks. Popped up again, and they super lowered the price. It was like $70. And I'm like, yeah, somebody probably told them no way. So again, I waited on it, and then I thought, you know what? I'll ask if they're willing to separate it up, because I can probably, haggle them at this point. So, I was like, would you be willing to separate these up? And they said, no, they go as a lot. And I went, okay. And they're like, well, do you want to make a bid on it, though? And I was like, no, I have most of these. I'm only looking for these three. And they're like, well, you can make a bid on the three of them. And I kind of stopped for a second, because I just, so then I asked, okay, how about these three for like $30? And they were like, no, how about 45? And I was like, how about 35? And they went, yeah, okay. So, all right, I'm figuring they're not open. Great, I'll go there. So, if you're selling things online, there's no shame in mentioning that you're a heavy smoker. There's not. I have no problem if you're a smoker. But the thing with these guys is, I got there, bought them, I get in the car, and I realized they reek of cigarette smoke. So it's a good thing that they weren't open, because I had to immediately take the plastic off and find the nearest trash can and throw it out. The plastic was actually yellow, and like when I looked at my fingers, I had like soot. So luckily these themselves don't smell anymore. It was just caked in the plastic, and they're fine. There's no damage to them. But yeah, it was a real time getting these guys, and I think I'm good on Simpsons for a while. So hey, you know what? It worked out. So these next few are all Value Village finds. So they were all like $2, if that, which was excellent. So first up, I've got House on Haunted Hill in a double feature with House on Haunted Hill. So we got the original here from 1959 and the remake from 1999. So I'm familiar with the original. It's a William Castle movie, which is very fun. I've never seen this remake, but it's got like Jeffrey Rush in it and stuff. So I'm very curious. William Castle is just kind of known for doing like fun, like he did The Tingler. So he would do stuff in the theater to kind of make it interactive, right? So with House on Haunted Hill, he had like a skeleton that came down and stuff like that. Full disclosure though, whenever I'm talking about this movie, I always mess it up with like the haunting, because there's House on Haunted Hill, and then there's The Haunting of Hill House, and then there's The Haunted. The naming's similar, so I get real confused. I say check them out if you've never seen them. The packaging here is nothing super special. It is a double-sided disc. If you put in the side with the original, it just immediately plays the movie. But the other side has a menu, which is kind of like not the greatest, but it has features for the original, so it's a little bit weird. My copy's also a bit scratched up, so I might have to get it buffed, but when I was testing it, it seemed okay. But yeah, maybe in the future I'll get further into these, but for now, I'm just glad to have it. This is one that Jex recommended me, actually, and then like the next day I spotted it, which was Heavyweights. I had knew nothing about this movie. Like, I had seen posters of it when I was a kid. I just thought it was something similar to this other movie called The Big Green, which I didn't really care for, but this looks hilarious, so I couldn't resist. I mean, Ben Stiller is a villain in here, and it reminds me almost of like Dodgeball, because he's like a super health freak, and he's just really mean to these kids that are going to a fat camp. I mean, I was sold on that, so I say thanks, Jax, for talking me into it. I'm happy with it. I'm definitely going to watch it very soon, but yeah, $2, I mean, worth it. This one is sheerly because I've seen it so many times out in the wild. Jex has seen it so many times out in the wild. He's always been like, are you sure you don't want it? And I'm like, I've seen it so many times, I'm gonna get it for probably on the Blu-ray for like $5. But found it at Value Village, so I figured finally I should get it. And that's Galaxy Quest. I mean, I assume most people have seen Galaxy Quest, but it's a really fun movie. It's basically like a riff on Star Trek, but the fun part of it is that they take these actors from the show Galaxy Quest, who it's very sci-fi, and they bring them into space because they think that the show is real. So these aliens take them, and they're like, oh, these evil aliens are coming after us, so we're going to take you because you have all this experience, and you're going to help us out. not knowing that what they did was a fake show. So it's really fun. Like, I super enjoy this, and Sam Rockwell is in this as well, and he's always good. So couldn't resist. Nothing real commenting about the packaging, and like the menus are just, they're interactive, but they're so. There's not much to them. Yeah, it was just about time, really, so I couldn't resist any longer. This is another one that when I found it, it was unopened, still in plastic. So this is The Stone Cold Truth, which is like a documentary about Stone Cold Steve Austin. I am a wrestling fan. I have a whole bunch of wrestling DVDs. I love Stone Cold Steve Austin, so when I saw this, I was like, no brainer. I will say, according to the menus and everything, and I kind of thought even when I was purchasing it, but regardless, I was going to do it. It's not so much like a compilation of his best matches. It's more so like a documentary about him. So another example of this is like, I have two different Mick Foley DVDs. One is like his greatest hits and misses, which is like a bunch of his matches, and then him just like kind of, introducing each one, which I love. Those types are the best for me. And then there's another one that's just mostly a documentary about his life with like little clips of matches peppered throughout. And this seems like the second. So still great. I'm really happy to have it. But if I run into one where it's just more of his matches, I'll probably pick that one up. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so these, I'll show the next two together. When I saw these, I got extremely excited because it's another one of those things that's been on my list for ages. So I found Spawn 2 and Spawn 3. No, it's not sequels to the terrible film. What this is it's actually, I have Spawn on DVD, and it's the animated series from HBO. So instead of releasing like season 1, season 2, and season 3, they cut and advertised this to be like animated feature films, which is a bit weird. So, I mean, I was tempted to get, when I couldn't find these, I was going to get to, because it's very cheap, it's like a collector's edition. It's like 4 discs, comes with all of it. A lot of times people actually got like a tin case of it, which is awesome, like a steel book. Those are long out of print. So if you order it like on Amazon, you're just going to get the plastic case. I think it goes for like $11 these days. Sometimes it kind of varies. These guys, though, was when it was first released. What I did find out, and I would warn to be careful of, is especially like, you can see it on my Spawn 2, there's a little like, looks like a sticker, and it says like uncut edition. This is important because in other releases, they just kind of tone down the violence. So it'll just be listed as special edition, and it's like the PG-13 version. So if you're going to pick these up, look for that uncut, unrated, whatever edition. And that would be the one I'd recommend going for. Spawn 3 doesn't have any of that. It's just the weird looking one. And I don't know what that 4th disc difference is. I assume it's just a lot more special features. But yeah, I was really stoked that I could finally find these, because most of the time when you see like a Spawn anything, it's usually beat to hell. I don't know what it is, but like it's like the discs are scratched and like maybe there's like a ton of goo on it. I don't know why, but people just don't take care of their Spawn DVDs. I kind of get like the live action movie being not good and people taking out some rage on it, but like the animated series is awesome. Keith David, man, like say no more for me. Next we got a 3-evening with Kevin Smith, which still has the price tag on it, which I didn't pay that for it, no worries. Again, this is still the Value Village finds. I've had an evening with and the evening with 2 for a long time. I, for some reason, could never get my hands on the 3-evening. I think it's just because it was released by a different company, so it just never got released in my area. I don't know. But seeing this for $2, I got excited because at that point I was like, oh, sweet. I can add more to my evenings with. At this point, I'm sure he has even more, but at the time when I was first getting them, I knew there was the 3 and that was it. So yeah, not much to comment on this one. It does have like an old Blockbuster case, which always kind of makes me a little bit nostalgic, but yeah, it's just a good solid feature. So I'm happy to have it. Same trip, I also found the Simpsons movie. I was surprised I didn't have the Simpsons movie, to be honest with you. I mean, I know that I shouldn't be surprised that I don't have something, but it's the type of thing that I I loved The Simpsons growing up, so I don't know why I just never picked it up until this point. But the price was right. This one still comes with like its newspaper insert, which kind of is super thin and weird. Like I feel like it's gone through some hell, but it's still in one piece. It's still in there, so I'm happy with it. Again, with Simpsons, awesome interactive menus, and the movie is just kind of fun. I know that apparently the behind the scenes working on this movie was like, from what I heard, really bad. But just a lot of like last minute changes and like overhauls, which would drive anybody crazy. It In a live action, that's rough. In animation, that's just crazy because a lot of time you got to start right from the gate. So it sounded like a rough time. But hey, movie's fun. It panned together. I'm happy to have it. And the donut disc is kind of nice. It's a nice touch. Another one I was surprised not to have was The Wizard of Oz. Um, I at one point had like bought for a relative, like it was like a super deluxe classic edition of this that came with like a watch and like all kinds of inserts. It was really cool. And I was like, oh, if I'm going to buy it myself Wizard of Oz, I'm probably going to get also that edition. But like as soon as I bought it, it immediately skyrocketed in price. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. So Wizard of Oz is another one of those movies where I'd see it and I'd be like, I should buy that. And then I'd be like, nah, you know what? I'll hold off. So this went on for years. Until I ran into this one. And again, for $2, I couldn't really say no. It is one of those cardboard cases, but the artwork is really nice in there. The disc looked fine. So, and even like weirdly, I don't see it often with these cardboard cases, but the insert kind of flips out, which is cool. The menus on the DVD is all right. It's one of those ones where it like transitions because of course there's Kansas and then there's Oz, but there's not like, it's not like two of the same menus with different like aesthetic changes. It's like one is just bare bones and the other one is like, oh, you can also access special features. Weird, but you know what? I have it now. A lot of these is the same. I'm sorry, where I just go, you know what? I have it now. I'm happy. But hey, it's true. I am. So that was it for the Value Village finds. I've got just a very, like 3 left here. So bear with me. We're almost through. I found this one, which I keep picking up upside down because the image is upside down, but Houdini. I didn't know that this series happened. This stars Adrian Brody, and it's just kind of the life and times of Harry Houdini. I love Harry Houdini, and magician stories kind of fascinate me because it's such an interesting career path. This was like a History Channel miniseries. So it's advertised as a movie, but it's a miniseries. It's 2 discs. One of the discs is like an extended cut, and the other one is just like the TV version. I'm probably going to start off with the extended cut. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, the menus are cool, and the subject matter just always is interesting to me. Like I said, the only thing that's weird is like every time I pick this up, I happen to always pick it up upside down, which still doesn't look wrong. So then I go, oh, the words don't make any sense. And then I'm like, right. So yeah, I'm excited. It looks cool. So this one was a gift, but I'm very excited about it. It's Boa versus Python. So I love monster movies, let alone awful monster movies. Is just a very guilty pleasure of mine. If there's a terrible monster movie to be had, I will enjoy myself watching it. So I have not seen this movie. Again, this was a gift for me, so I'm excited to watch it. I'm going into the menu, just little things like the fact that the selector is like a snake. It's genius. The trailer is like bananas. The CG is awful. Like the snakes don't look good at all. But man, just the subject matter of we've got a giant snake. What do? We fight it with another giant snake. That's the logic I'm in here for, and I'm down with it. So I'm excited to watch this. Boa versus Python. My God. Last but certainly not least, A Simple Wish. So I love Martin Short. No secret there. This is one I watched a ton as a child. I know it's not technically a good movie, but there's nostalgia there for me. It's just like fun. Like again, it's Martin Short. If you can't stand him, you won't stand this movie at all. Mara Wilson's in this as well. Coming off of Matilda at this point, I believe. Maybe Ms. Doubtfire. I'll have to double check the years, but Either way, the whole premise is that Martin Short is a fairy godfather, and he has to help out Mara Wilson trying to grant her wishes, and he's terrible at it. In the meantime, there's like a witch that's doing all kinds of evil stuff. Just fun. The disc art itself is nothing special, and the menu is pretty bare. I think it starts the movie right away, and you actually have to navigate to the menu. It's one of those, but hey, at least it comes with a trailer. That's all I really need. So yeah, that's all my purchases over the past couple of months. Thanks for watching and sticking around. I know it's probably a little bit hectic and all over the place, but there was a lot of stacks there, so I had to really pick and choose what to talk about. As always, in the future, I might do one of these in the It Came From the Collection series I do. So I might get into more elaborate, synopses and reviews of it. But for now, just a fun rundown, and hopefully my Godzilla videos will be done soon. So thanks again. Later.